tree of liberty has been thirsty for too long. I am the spark, the powder, the match, the shot that rang, the line in the patch. I am the night they tossed the tea, the oath they swore to die free. You can chain my hands, you can break my bones, but you'll never own my soul. I am the fire in the midnight sky, the reason tyrants die. I am 1776, lightning, thunder, iron, and grit. Every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, 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 oh. I am 1776. The flag they tried to burn, the shot that made the empire turn. I am the rebel, the Minuteman, the ink that wrote we can. We hold these truths, hear my boots on the cobblestone, hear my war cry, shake the throne. My drum, you know it's near. Your reign of fear ends here. I am 1776. Lightning, thunder, iron, and grit. Every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, oh, oh. 1776.
Whoops. Wrong button. Good morning. It seems like everybody's having problems with their computers this morning. I know I did. I'm watching in the chat. People are having a little bit of problems with their phone. I know George is having to reboot too. He was freezing up when I first brought him in this morning. I don't know where Sean is, so that could be what's going on. But I don't know how many of you guys were having problems. It's pretty strange. Like Microsoft Clipchamp won't load. So there's something going on somewhere. I don't know. But well, I heard somebody. Let's see, Born to Ride is in here. Hello, Born to Ride.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Everybody's having problems with their stuff this morning. I've seen a couple in the chat that said they were having problem loading things too. So there's something going on. But I don't know what. Do you? Are you frozen or are you messing with me? Oh, jeez. Guess we're having problems. Anyway, so I'm going to start out with a prayer this morning. We'll go with this one. So, let those who love the Lord hate evil, for he guards the lives of his faithful ones and delivers them from the hand of the wicked. And that's Psalm 97:10. So with all the Epstein files coming out and everything today, it is I think it's pretty wicked. Yeah, see, Uni saying Rumble's slow getting in. Your phone, oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to remove you, George. I think you're going to have to come back in again. Oop, I guess he did it himself. So anyways, we were talking yesterday about the Nancy Guthrie stuff, and it's kind of funny, isn't it? You know, all this Epstein stuff's coming out yesterday. Everybody's trying not to talk about Epstein. And then we go ahead and they say they arrest somebody overnight. And then turns out that they ended up letting him go. And this thing just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder as every day passes. Like they were saying they couldn't get the whatchamacallit, the ring cam video. and then the FBI ended up using a bunch of different sources, and they got that working and everything too. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And then closing did you hear about that, George? Them closing down the El Paso airport.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, it's not on the Mexican side either.
No, it's right next to a military base. Yeah,
but why would they not close the Mexican side and just the American side? That's kind of strange, I think, too.
You're calling me back, this kid.
I think it's strange. But the Epstein stuff is not getting started on, and you would think so many people would be really up in arms about that, but I don't know what's more important.
Well,
what?
Everything's a distraction, but it's a very high. It's by Fort Bliss, which they are restricting flights from 8,000 feet as low as 18,000 feet, and they're closing it for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
There's the army base that's there. There's 90,000 soldiers there.
Yeah,
and it's a very highly secret military base where they have a lot of those secret weapons that they don't want nobody to know about.
I thought they closed the airport down.
So they might be testing some military stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they closed the airport down.
Yeah, they did. They're closing it for 10 days.
Yeah.
They're closing it for 10 days.
That's strange that it happened so quick. That's been that hasn't happened since 9/11.
Yeah, it's been since 9/11. It's been a long time since that's happened.
I think it's StreamYard. I think it's StreamYard, not for anything. They just sent me StreamYard just sent me a link. It said that they having problems with StreamYard.
Really? I don't know. Well,
yes, sir.
All right.
That's what they told me.
Okay, I haven't gotten anything from StreamYard yet, so maybe it's just your area.
Well, you're the boss. They don't want to. They know how powerful you are. They're going to send it to you. They're going to send it to PR.
Maybe they don't want to. Yeah, maybe they don't want to upset you, Tricks.
It's happening to Sean too. Sean, is it happening to you?
What?
Freezing?
No, it's actually funny because it looked like you were frozen and Trixie wasn't, which was weird. It kind of threw me off.
Yeah, he was free. He came out and came back in and everything about too. So maybe it could be just the area by you. I'm not sure.
It's a good place. I reset everything. I reset the route. I set the internet. So, but that's the whole thing. They got that Fort Bliss is very highly with these secret weapons that are there. So they might be testing something military in the air.
Well, what if it's where maybe Trump is taking Netanyahu to El Paso? That's why they got it closed off.
Yeah, but
not for 10 days. Yeah.
Well, maybe they're going to keep him. I don't know.
A long trip. It's a long trip.
They're going to hold it. They're going to hold him hostage for 10 days, maybe. I don't know. There's some. So I don't know. So what we were talking about that Nancy Guthrie before you guys all came on about how they arrested not arrested somebody, but detained somebody last night and then let him go. And you notice that the investigation is just sloppy.
Yeah, well, apparently I'm hearing conflicting reports. One, that his mother-in-law turned him in because of his eyes of the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And then, sloppy. Oh, George. And then I'm hearing that the guy was detained doing an Uber delivery. Then I heard that they kicked the door down to the house. I don't know. Or maybe they got the guy and then they went to the house and kicked the door down. I don't know. I
don't know either. It's just they keep. I'm just sick of looking at it. I mean, it's on every stupid TV station, and Fox was running it 24/7 on every single show and everything. Why? George and I were talking about it, and it's like, is it distraction from the Epstein files because the Murdoch boys own Fox and they're from Australia and they hung around a lot with the royal family and everything. So maybe that's why they're not putting stuff on, but they should be talking about other stuff, not just that.
I don't know.
Check it out. I'm looking at my phone.
You got to turn your volume down, George. We're getting that feedback. on the whatever you're
I wanted to
listening
see if I was getting interrupted. I want to see if I was getting interruption on my phone from you guys.
Oh, okay, I got you. Because I hear Tracy twice. Now I know which
Yeah.
way to answer. I know I answer
Yeah, which one you can
Well,
answer?
that's our usual thing. She likes to talk, actually twice, like an investigator.
Yeah, I repeat everything. I don't know, but it
I don't
sure
know
is.
I don't know if CNN had it on all night, but I would think so. I mean, everybody has it. It's the only. Apparently, it's the only real news story out there right now. There's
Yeah,
no
well,
one cares
you
about
see,
the,
they're not
no one
talking
cares
about
about the fraud,
Yeah.
the 30 billion in fraud. No one cares about the Epstein people. Speaking of Epstein, did you see that Elon Musk put a post out there a couple days ago that any Epstein, I guess, accusers, if they get sued, he will cover their legal expenses for them. So I think
Wow.
what the census is out there is that if you come out against Epstein, that you're going to get sued. So I think people are maybe keeping their mouths shut. So Elon Musk kind of came out and said that he'll back them. Stacy said I should just answer twice. That was good. No, not Stacy. Denise. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong line. Denise said I should answer twice. That's good.
Yeah. Well, I got something that goes along with Epstein. This is from Jim Brewer, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
I'll tell you right now, there's some names on there that, when I say broke my heart, it breaks my heart. They're huge actors, huge musicians, huge. And the thing is, it's out there. The list is out there. I've seen it multiple times. And like I said, it started 2 years ago. It's up to you to go look for it. And so many of you are not ready. If it was true, which is a little weird that the whole, it's a human trafficking trial. It's not. So let's talk about abortion. Let's talk about gun laws. Let's talk about Ukraine. No. Let's talk about that. Why aren't we talking about that? I'll tell you why. It has the potential to collapse governments, music industry, film and TV industry. Do you realize the magnitude? We're talking like, okay, here's Hollywood, here's government, including ours, and here's all of Hollywood and all the biggest musicians you grew up going, I love them, and all of a sudden just gone. Because if I find a name, which I have to say, there are certain names, and I don't know if they're true. Nobody knows they're true until they officially come out and go, yeah, it's true. It's on the internet, some guy reading the names, reading them. He read them. But here's what's interesting. Nobody that has been put out there has claimed, hey, man, this stuff is all BS. Stop including me. I haven't seen it.
Exactly. That's the point that I think is really important about all of that, is that if you were accused and you didn't do it, wouldn't you deny it?
Well, here's that's a great question, but here's the thing. How many people really know about it? Like, it's not being talked about on the mainstream media. It's some people that do a little digging. That's not everybody. That's probably maybe 20% of the population. So you're probably better off letting 20% of the population think you're a sleazebag than coming out and saying something, and then 70% of the population think you're a sleazebag. Yeah, you get my point? So I think, I just wonder if they figured, you know what, until something really comes out and they're on like NBC News or ABC News or CBS News, just not say nothing. I think that's the way they're going. Because it's not a mainstream story. Unfortunately, it's not a mainstream story. Why wouldn't it be what people have done to kids and all this other stuff? Why wouldn't that be unless people are afraid of lawsuits, even this guy to do a video and get out there and say, oh my God, go find it yourself. I mean, why not say what you're oh my God about? Like if you're OMG about something, then say it. If there's people that you think, and yeah, some people mention may be totally innocent. I mean, look at all the heat Steve Bannon's getting right now from some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of refuse just to think Steve Bannon's a scumbag right off the bat, but I haven't seen Steve Bannon talk about anything. I mean, one of my friends has been listening to Steve Bannon every day, every show to see if he's addressing it, and he hasn't addressed anything yet. Now, I haven't heard he's like with little kids and stuff, but I've heard he had a very tightness with Epstein, and he's tried
the money laundering.
Yep.
The gold.
So
but
why hasn't he addressed that? So, and again, he may be a total scumbag with it. He may not be. I don't know, but I think with a lot of people is until people are really in your face, they kind of just don't say anything. I think it's because why say something and make the story bigger. I think that's what it really draws down to, in my opinion.
Well, Elon Musk is saying stuff on X, that's for sure. But
he's been very vocal. Yeah.
Yeah. Some prayers for you, Man K.
Yeah, feel better, Man K. If you're still in the chat.
Yeah, but all these people are really quiet though. But I see your point, but then yet I see Wired, like Chrissy Teigen. I mean, all this stuff is right in those files. She deleted all of her old posts about how she wanted to eat pizza and go to jail for watching little girls do the splits. All that stuff. She deleted all of it. Why would you delete it if it was done innocently?
Yeah, I think she said something like that she was watching little girls do splits and oh my God, arrest me now or something like that. Like what does that even
sick one.
What does that mean? That you're having perverted thoughts because you're watching little girls do splits and you're getting like that's just that's a crazy thing. Her and her husband. Her husband's a strange bird too.
Yeah. Well, there's okay. I see in the chat, NRG is saying Elon and Bannon had issues for years. Don't buy the BS. Yeah, but it was in the files. It wasn't just Elon making that stuff up. It came out. So
Bannon's been so against Elon for the Neuralink stuff, right? The subsidies he was getting for the electric cars and stuff. So I think maybe Elon, maybe Elon could be taking shots back at him. It could be payback a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know, but there's some hickey stuff. But I came across this and I thought it was really interesting. I had no idea about the Epstein, how it all started, how he got caught.
Did you hear about how this started in 2005? I think this is
no,
accurate.
but it's. I'm glad you're saying that because I'm.
This is crazy.
Two girls fighting.
So it started between a fight between two teenage girls at Royal Palm Beach High School in Florida. Here are the details of how the event triggered the investigation. Early 2005, two girls at Royal Palm Beach High School got into a fight during which one girl repeatedly called the other girl a prostitute or hooker. Following the fight, school administrations and parents investigated, searching one of the girls' purses and finding $300 in cash. The confession. The student initially claimed the money was from working at a fast food restaurant, but later revealed she had been paid for massages by a wealthy man, later identified as Jeffrey Epstein. This revelation led to a police investigation in March of 2005 when the stepmother of one of the girls reported the molestation to the Palm Beach police. Wow.
Wow, that's in 2005.
Yeah, that was the first arrest.
And now listen to this. It says they identified the Royal Palm Beach High was identified as a focal point for recruitment, where, according to investigations, at least 15 students were lured into Epstein's Palm Beach home. Holy shit.
That's so crazy.
Now
That's in 2005.
Imagine if those girls didn't get in that fight. Imagine if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's dark.
You know who that woman is?
No,
that's RFK's wife.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I saw that clip yesterday, and I thought, wow. I mean, just think. You're right. What if they didn't get in a fight? Maybe that would have never came out. Maybe, and then in 2006 is what we've been seeing the last couple of days that Trump has reached out to the Palm Beach chief of police and talked about how bad Epstein was. That was a year later, right?
We talked about that on the show here before.
Yeah.
About Trump being the one to help him out.
Yeah. Yeah. So people are saying maybe Trump was an FBI informant, right?
I've been saying that one since like the 80s, I think. I think he was put in as an FBI back in the 80s, like when he was doing the casino at the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. I think he was put there just to roll in a lot of the mob. Yeah, and that's why he filed bankruptcy and then got the hell out of there. It was plausible deniability. You know,
it's funny. They never had any ties with Trump with the mob, right? In New York or anything. So like it kind of like, you know, he's been squeaky clean. So they probably stayed away from him because of that.
Who are you talking about?
Trump.
We're talking about you, but you came back on. We had changed it. I
know. I get that.
Mark was even chiming in the chat.
It was spy ringing. Yeah, somebody hit my computer. There was something on there.
If you didn't come back, I was going to bring the George puppet on for the rest of the show.
You want to hear something cool? I saw I can't take credit for it, but it is pretty cool. Trump, the republic under military protection. Isn't that cool?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, George, what we brought up was Trix played a clip of Joe Rogan talking about it back in 2005. The reason why the Epstein stuff really started coming out was two girls, I guess, that were getting trafficked by him, got in a fight at Palm Beach High School in 2005.
Really? Oh.
And then I added that, you know, all this stuff the other day about Trump back in 2006 going to Palm Beach Police Department to the chief of police.
So you don't know what the name of the school was, right?
Yeah, Palm Beach. Was it Palm?
I was thinking of maybe where they had that shooting.
No, I don't know about that. I've never heard of the school before. Hang on, let me see something here. I mean, Trix, you could play the clip again. Probably be quicker to do that than.
Did you hear about how this started in 2005? I think this is
no,
accurate.
but it's. I'm glad you're saying that because I'm.
This is crazy.
Two girls fighting.
So it started between a fight between two teenage girls at Royal Palm Beach High School in Florida. Here are the details of how the event triggered the investigation. Early 2000.
Okay, Royal Palm Beach High School.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was where they had the killings of the kids and they copped it. You know, maybe that would have been a distraction.
I just looked at the map. There's a few high schools in Palm Beach, but it's Royal Palm Beach Community High School.
Yeah, that's not far from
Okeechobee Boulevard. So it's on Okeechobee Boulevard. So that's
it's not far from Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can tell the sun's really out here today. Look at half my side over here is all lit up.
Nice. Maybe you're getting some melted snow today.
It's all melted. It all melted
yesterday.
It was 54 degrees.
Oh, was it 54 degrees yesterday? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were cold over yesterday.
Well, we're finally getting back. I think the last of the cold snap's over with. But so that they're distracting us from the Epstein shit with this Nancy Guthrie stuff. And it's driving me crazy because I'm so sick of listening to it. I don't care if anybody gets
they say the guy was rubbishing through looking for a key. Did you hear that one?
For her teeth?
For her key. What teeth? What's the matter? I understand Brooklyn, right? Montana. What the fuck?
What's Keith? What's Keith? Toby Keith have to do?
Well, he was Toby. The thing was
understand a word.
They said he looked like he was looking for
it's the accent. It's a little bit tough for me to hear that.
Yeah, pulled one. I don't know what he said there at the end.
Keep it up. Watch what happens.
Isn't it funny? I saved that for you.
Oh my god, that should be every.
Open pee in your pants. That's what I hope.
That should be every time George says something a little crazy that you should pull that rate up. That would be great.
Didn't you hear that they said they were looking for the key? Key. He might have been looking for the key. That's why he was rubbishing through the plant and that one there because he was looking for a hidden key. Did you hear that one?
Oh, a key for so something about that door. They say it's a burglary door or whatever, and you can't open it or whatever. You can't pull it open. But maybe I mean, why would an 80-something-year-old lady have a key outside? I mean, maybe if family,
her kids could get in the house in case of anything.
but then give them a key.
Yeah, but they don't know if
I
they
mean,
come
the
here.
safety would be to give them their own key, right? I mean, that would be,
this whole thing's hidden under a rock.
yeah.
That's what they talk about.
Literally.
You know, they don't notice anything. They, like you said, Sean, they don't not talking about the billions lost that was stolen.
Mhm.
You don't see anything happening about what he called New Scum, about all the shit he's under, and the what do you call it? I had those things yesterday. Oh, where's my thing? And a little note here. Hold on. I wrote that. I was listening to notes. Oh, here's a good one. The word liberal is lacking in basic education and logic. If you spell liberal out, L stands for liberal, right? Liberal.
Mhm.
L stands for lacking. I stands for in. B stands for basic. E stands for education. A is for and L is for logic, which they have none. But you want to see? You want to get off this beautiful subject? I like this. I like to.
Wait a minute. Maybe Trixie's not ready to get off this beautiful subject. Maybe she had something else to share.
Oh, well, no, I do have what's in the snow, an analysis of what's in
All
the
right.
snow.
Well, then
That we'll go.
subject,
We'll
then.
go to later. But what do you got there, George?
Do that one about the protest of the kids. Remember we brought this up yesterday about the students that went out protesting.
Exactly what I said would happen happened today in Paris, California.
Kid just got hit by a car.
And one of the kids has a sign up that says "fuck." You see that?
I predicted this earlier today, that pretty soon what happened to Alex Pretty and to Renee Good would soon happen to our kids. Because when are parents going to start understanding this simple concept? Your kids are the new price that they are willing to pay. These are children entering a game that they do not understand. They are the expendable pawns. We need our parents to step up and do better. We need our moms, our dads, our legal guardians to step up and remove the veil of blindness.
The kid ended up in the hospital.
Well, that's
She got hit
why,
really bad.
That's why when you're a parent and your kids are in school and they're doing something to leave the school, you have to sign a permission slip. So if something happens, the school's not accountable. So there was probably no permission slips for this, right?
No, they even brought out the school. They even brought out the school the band with an accordion and some things and everything else. I mean, the protest. I mean, these kids don't know what they're doing. I mean, they just say, "Oh, it's a day out of school. Let's all go out." You know, they don't. They really don't care.
Oh yeah, I would say at least half of them probably said, "Yeah, let's get the hell out of class. I don't give a shit about the protest. Let's just get out of class and walk outside." Yeah, unbelievable.
That's why we brought up the issue of permission slips before, because the school's liable for your kids, and if they take them off the school grounds, and obviously that kid was in the street, he was in off school grounds. They can be. I think they should be sued. Their insurance, the school insurance, should be sued to Kingdom Come for that one.
Yeah, USN said parents letting schools raise their kids. Yep, that's true. And Denise, if that was my child, I would sue the school. I'm sure that parent's probably going to sue the school, even if they sign a permission slip.
Yeah, but they weren't even giving them out. That's what people were saying. Like that one guy, we had the clip where he went to the school because he found out that there was a guy too. I saw he went and called them all pieces. It was a football player's brother, and he was calling them all pieces of shit and everything because
I saw that clip.
Yeah, there was no permission slip or anything. They just took the kids out of school on their own with no permission. And you can't even give a kid an Advil or Tylenol at school without all hell breaking loose.
Yeah.
They'll do that. That's not right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
if I have a clip I wanted to share. Someone that George respects a lot, and just wanted to share a clip and get everybody's take on it. It's a guy that George respects a lot.
See it.
Ready, George?
God.
You respect this guy a lot, right, George? Ready? Listen to this.
Yeah,
This is
I would
from
like to
2017 and 2024. Listen to this.
Of the president, the mental health of the president is something of fundamental importance to the national security of the country and the continuing effectiveness of the government. So I think that, some of the current events have concentrated our mind on the problem, but we need to set this up as a matter of institutional responsibility as Congress.
A lot of people see his age as
He's talking about
something that helps explain some of his wisdom and some of his compassion. The kind of compassion you see not just within his family, but outside of it. That compassion for people in his family, which is real and authentic, becomes solidarity for everybody in the country who's struggling, as well as for people around the world.
Physical health of the.
So 2017, he was talking. He was hitting Trump's age about physical health and his security and everything else. And then 2024, Biden's age was compassion and wisdom. That's why people keep you taken seriously, and they're disgusting.
I think Raskin's chemotherapy went into his brain and rotted it. That's what I think.
I think he was going long before his chemotherapy. I think he's just every time I see that guy, I get
it's something else. Everybody, he had cancer, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody prayed for him, and and everything else, and then he just. For all like he got cured and everything else like that. I don't know if he's in remission. I have no idea. But just the way he and I know the way he attacks people, it's just unbelievable. God gave you a second chance in life, and you're still a piece of shit. I don't know.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a lot of people like that. A lot of them, unfortunately.
Yep.
But I think with Raskin and everything, I think the ones like that are just the ones that got so much shit to hide that they're just nasty and evil. And
would it surprise you if you heard something about Jamie Raskin, like that he was involved with Epstein's Island or something like that? It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
The one I want to see hang for that shit is Schiff, though. I want to see him go. I really do.
That's right. Here he is. There he is, Trix.
We still need those googly eyes to put on that water balloon.
Yeah, maybe I gotta get those. Matter of fact, if you look at that video of the person up at the porch getting Savannah's mother, he's got eyes like Schiff.
Oh yeah, really big eyes like that. But did you notice the almost the effeminate eyebrows? How thin they were and everything.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if that was because of the way the mask was. I saw, and everybody was talking about that, but I was wondering but the other thing is, it's funny. I was going to share a video. I think it was maybe a few days before this whole kidnapping thing started. Have you seen some of those videos with these masks that people put on? Their thin masks and how they look.
Oh, the one that's and put them on tight. Yeah.
It's actually scary seriously, if you walked up at least on the video, they look, so I'll have to find that again and share that. I was going to share it like a week before saying how scary these things are. People could you totally misrecognize somebody, and they don't even look like a mask, which is creepy.
You know what it reminds me of? The old times when you used to take pantyhose and stick them over your face and make robber faces.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I never did that personally, but
I bet you did.
I know people that was like a big thing. What in the 70s and the 80s on the police shows, like if there was somebody doing a bank robbery or whatever, they put pantyhose over their face. Right? Yeah,
I know. I forgot.
Yeah, some said like Mission Impossible. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. What Mark say? I think Sean is on to something. I think Pencil Neck Watermelon Head is involved in that kidnapping. Yeah, the eyes give it away, Mark.
You know why Slawwall wasn't in on it?
Why is that?
He didn't have enough gas to get there.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
That was a good one.
Hey, you got some good ones coming out of you.
And she's on the roll.
Yeah.
I still hope she pees in her pants.
The other day you had a good one. Yeah, the day you had a good one.
You know, when she laughs at herself.
I writing these jokes for you or something? What's going on?
Not, yeah. She's on TikTok and she gets all the jokes off from them.
I do not. I make most of them up myself. What are you talking about?
Oh, really?
Especially the gas ones.
Yeah.
I like the one where I saw where I can't understand a thing he's saying. When I see that one, I go, "Oh, I'm keeping that one for George." I'm keeping that one.
The best is when Trump goes, I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence there. I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
Mark says, all you need is a drum set, Tricks.
Oh, I got one too. I got to be faster to be able to do
There you
that.
go, Moname. I think they use Mission Impossible masks on the Epstein replacement. Yeah, maybe.
Well, they say they saw him in. There she goes. She amuses herself. Hi, I'm Trixie. Look at me.
Oh, what do you got? What do you got down here, George? The video.
I don't care. Put whatever you want to put.
Let me tell you a story. For a very long time, our world has been under the growing influence of a vast transgenerational criminal mafia that was able to rise up to the highest levels of power. We didn't know because they talked and acted just like you and me. We thought we could recognize true criminals by their words and actions, but were deceived by their sophisticated speech, wealth, education, beauty, and power. Through a system of threats, blackmail, and bribery, they would come to occupy the highest levels of power in government, corporations, and education. You may know them as the deep state or cabal. Most dangerously of all, they achieve almost total influence over the media, their primary means of controlling the good people of the world who were just trying to get on with living. They used this power to slowly convince us that we were the problem, that we were a threat to each other. They used race, gender, and religion to set us apart, and rewrote history to validate these false claims. They funded both sides of wars just to crush our potential to prosper and succeed as a peace-loving and creative force of good for the world. Now, with their firm grasp on the media, we drank in their entertainment and lies as they began their final phase, the total takedown of America. We were the brightest remaining beacon of freedom and humanity's last hope. They knew that if they could take America, the rest of the world would follow. They cut deals that led us to hand over total control of the money system to a private central bank, the Federal Reserve. This made it possible to influence Washington, D.C., and most of our presidents since then were beholden to the criminals in one way or another. Things took a really bad turn when they concentrated vast power into the hands of the many civilian intelligence agencies throughout the world. They said they were there to protect us. Instead, these agencies were catastrophically weaponized to boost drug and human trafficking cartels, assassinate political opponents, undermine the military, and change regimes of foreign governments who did not want to adopt this centralized system of money control. You might think they would choose simply to remain in the shadows running their criminal activities while we carried on with our lives. But as long as there was freedom for the people to prosper, the cabal were always at risk of being discovered and shut down. There was no way to continue without a plan to eliminate all threats to their survival, even if it meant imposing a single world government under their jurisdiction, where no national identity, police force, or military could stop them. They called it globalism. Exploiting our emotions and our instincts of compassion, they found a way to justify dismantling cultures, borders, and national identity under the guise of social justice, creating false narratives of racism, colonialism, and capitalism to destabilize and ultimately collapse societies so they were no longer secure enough to reject this dark plan for the world. Where there was no history to distort, they would use wars to force a catastrophic mass migration of peoples across borders to destabilize and weaken cultural identity. When we didn't accept this, they called us intolerant and shamed us into silence. By 2008, America was in advanced stages of economic decline, with disastrous trade deals leading to widespread loss of jobs and a devastating financial crisis. The cabal had now absorbed another extensive criminal empire that was aligned with a twisted and radical form of Islam. Realizing the competition could threaten their goals, they decided to cooperate and agree to mutual terms. Now a hostile foreign enemy was able to insert a subordinate into the U.S. political system who would become the president. Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal funded Obama's Harvard education and took power by proxy, picking his entire cabinet while buying vast quantities of control in our largest media companies. The Western faction of the cabal was different. It was another kind of sick altogether. A dark and deeply sinister death cult with a strong reliance on symbolism and numerology, with levels of cruelty unimaginable to all right-thinking people. The reach and scale the secret society had achieved would have sent destabilizing shockwaves across the world were it ever to be publicly exposed. They were highly skilled at living just below the surface as they worked their way into the United States presidency. With both factions of the global mafia now in control, are you ready to hear what they had planned? Make sure you're sitting down. They installed rogue operators in government. They opened back doors to leak highly classified military intel and top-secret special access programs. They cut military funding and weakened the command of generals with irrational new rules of engagement. They worked to dismantle NASA and end our supremacy in space. They infiltrated and exposed defensive military intelligence programs that reduced our ability to detect foreign and domestic threats. They used our trusted agencies to target and weaken political opponents. They relaxed our borders and enabled passage of millions of illegals and violent criminal gangs. They moved money to fund global terrorism, resulting in groups like ISIS moving to capture vast territories throughout the world. In 2016, the Cabal Alliance had hoped to retain power. If you are not yet chilled to the bone by the picture that is forming about their intentions for us all, let me tell you what was to come next. Through international climate change scams, they would have siphoned trillions of remaining wealth, eliminate the last good guys in government, and withdraw total funding from the U.S. military, handing over the responsibility of our defense to the United Nations. They would revise the Constitution to weaken our ability to fight back, ban the sale of firearms to eliminate our self-defense, insert their people into the Supreme Court, remove the Electoral College system to neuter our voting power, and totally eliminate alternative media to shield them from exposure. They instigated a covert deal to move large quantities of our uranium to their captured states in North Korea and Iran to build up a nuclear arsenal that would threaten the world. For this, they blamed Russia, a growing force of opposition to their ambitions of global control. By casting Putin as an enemy and blaming him for this illegal uranium deal, they had planned a devastating nuclear world war between America and Russia that would have exhausted the last two remaining pillars of freedom for the world, accelerating the horrific endgame that had become inevitable. This cabal miraculously lost power in 2016 when a brave operation, led by a U.S. military alliance and their global partners, were able to return power legitimately over to the light. They had a plan of their very own, one that was many decades in the making. With Donald Trump selected for the role of president, the people of America was slowly awakened to the reality of the world they live in. With so much hidden and lied about in the media channels we had come to trust for our news and entertainment, this alliance of good set into motion a sophisticated strategy of dismantling the vast network of corruption that had almost completely overcome every level of government, industry, and the legal system. They knew they had to follow the laws of the land as they were originally intended. Otherwise, they themselves would be delegitimized, even though they were just trying to free us from the silent stranglehold of tyranny that we had come to accept as normal. The panicking deep state used any remaining power they had left to try and save themselves. Each day for 2 years was a careful and meticulously planned balancing act between public perception and the job that needed to be done. Moving too fast would shock and scare a sleeping public still living in the prison of the mind that was created for them. But after all this, it appears now that not only are we winning, but we have won. The trajectory of this great storm is now radiantly clear. Now we look forward to a new future, thanks to the brave patriots who risked everything to save our world. This time for good. There is not a person alive who has experienced what a world without this darkness could be like. A world of free energy that was kept from us to force our dependency on their fossil fuel monopolies. Abolishment of income tax that was illegally imposed to pay back interest on loans taken from the cabal banking system. Released cures for our most deadly diseases. Unleashed space technologies to open frontiers we never dreamed possible. New technologies creating millions of jobs and yielding a global human renaissance the likes of which we have never seen. Fellow Americans and citizens of the world, now it is our turn to shine. Wherever we are, we will become the plan when we choose to reject what they call globalism.
That's everything in a nutshell.
Everything in a nutshell. That was everything in a major big.
But you see,
chest.
the plan is like unbelievable.
They
And
want
it's
you to put that to put the link to that or put the copy of that in the comments under the show today on Rumble.
Okay.
You can. Thank you.
Okay.
A lot to unpack. I see Marty said he didn't think the Arabs were able to put a president, but I said you don't have to put anybody in when you could buy them.
They have all the money. I mean, the millions and billions of dollars. They groomed him. He was Obama was a
I don't even know about that. I just think that when you have enough money, you could buy whatever you want. I don't know if
that what George found that video and put it up. I've got stuff like this too. There's so much of it out there that brings it all cohesive like that and goes from the very beginning into the very end. But you can believe it or you can't. But look at all the things that are true in there, like the World Economic Forum, the Council of 300, the Trilateral Commission, the Carlyle Group. All that stuff is all set up to basically to undermine the United States government and the political power that we the people have as individuals, and so that they have like the globalism. There was the Mass Migration Pact through the UN. That was all that. That's why Hungary was so vilified, because they knew what was going on.
Well, Hungary shut down their borders.
Yeah, what's the capital? What's the capital of Hungary? Starvation.
Budapest.
Not starvation.
I hope you pee your pants.
No, I don't laugh like you, boy. Let me tell you. Anyway.
Boy, you two just been going at it. I think I got to get in the middle of and be a referee here. I don't know.
Bring the George Puppet to be the referee.
Yeah. Well, no, George Puppet can't be the referee. He's going to be biased to George. You know, that's right, George.
I got a.
He's biased. He's biased for George.
Oh, we do this all the time, but we're not mad.
I'm only teasing. You know that.
I want to do my Wormhole Wednesday before the day.
All right, go ahead, do your wormhole. Go ahead, do your wormhole.
What have you got? Because
No,
I don't.
right. I thought before you do your wormhole, I want play the one with the eagle.
Well, wait, before you do that,
no.
Can I just say one thing? We talked about things that we're not talking about because of this whatever, Savannah Guthrie's mom's disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think is the number one story that no one's talking about? Take a guess, George. Let me see if you were on
the money that's being ripped off.
No, Trick.
Epstein file. The Epstein file.
Take a guess what story we're not talking about. This is
the military in the Middle East, big and bold.
No, the Georgia election.
Oh yeah, that was the
okay. I just saw Paul Sperry put a tweet up that I reposted, and it came up last evening. Yeah. Georgia election watchdog Garland Favardio of Atlanta-based voterga.org just told me that the FBI raid of Fulton County's ballot warehouse will show that Fulton certified mostly Biden votes for which they have no ballots.
That's right, because they use touch screens.
No ballots. Right. There are 17,852 certified votes for which they have no digital ballot images, and likely no ballots. In 2020, Biden's margin over Trump in Georgia was a narrow 11,779 votes.
And that's what Trump
asked. So there's almost 18,000 votes that were mostly Biden's that they have no imagery of, no ballots, no nothing. What's fucking wrong with that picture?
Well, play the next videotape and you'll hear. Play the next videotape and you'll hear.
Something going on in Georgia that I just want to tell you about. Because what you're seeing in the news isn't actually what's happening. It's not the full story. You probably heard about the FBI raid and the voting headquarters, right? I think everyone has. And they're spinning it like it's about the FBI finally doing their job, or it's about election integrity or accountability. But that's not what this really is. It's actually not even very close. What this is really about is whether Georgia has been running federal elections at all. And I know that sounds insane, but stick with me for a minute because it's going to blow your mind. Here's a simple version. The U.S. Constitution allows exactly two legal ways to vote in a federal election. One is a real physical paper ballot. The other is a real mechanical voting machine. You know, the old school kind with a lever. And that's it. Those are the rules, the two ways. And federal law is very clear about that. If one of those two methods are not used, the vote doesn't count. Might not count, not questionable. It doesn't count, period. So here's the problem. Georgia doesn't use mechanical voting machines, and they don't give voters real paper ballots either. They use touchscreens, plastic cards, computers, and digital systems, which means, according to federal law, those votes are legally meaningless. So what does Georgia say that they have instead? They say they have records and digital images, and they have scans and computer files. But here's the part that a third grader even understands. A picture of a ballot isn't a ballot. A scan or a computer code isn't a ballot either. And the law is very clear on that. So if you live in Georgia and you didn't vote using one of those two constitutional required methods, then legally there was no election in the first place. Think about that for a second. We thought they were only accused of cheating. What they actually did was sidestep the entire system and convince citizens that they were voting when legally it didn't matter at all. They were participating in a show, a theatrical simulation. Now, fast forward. The Department of Justice shows up with a warrant demanding physical ballots. But Georgia officials have been saying for years that they can't produce physical ballots because they don't have them. So now we're left with two possibilities, and neither one is acceptable. Either Georgia has been illegally hiding real ballots for years, or the ballots never existed because Georgia was never running constitutional elections in the first place. Both options are catastrophic. This is worse than voter fraud. This isn't cheating within the system. This is bypassing the system entirely. It's a complete farce on a republic and on representative democracy itself. And here's where it gets even darker. Because during the counting process, there were official election observers, lawful observers, who objected. And they protested the manipulation. They raised alarms about what was happening. And what happened? Well, they were removed by police for interfering with polling locations. Not the officials running the process, not the people violating procedure, and not the people overseeing a system that wasn't constitutional to begin with. These observers were treated as a problem. And this is where people really need to wake up, because what this shows you is what happens when people are forced to choose between the Constitution and their personal livelihood. When it comes down to integrity versus a job, a pension, a mortgage, or feeding your kids, most people choose their job. And that's not because they're evil, it's because they're human. That's where America is right now. Police officers, law enforcement, public officials, they're being pushed and forced into a position where they have to decide, do I follow the law or do I protect my family? And the system is designed so that if you choose the law, you lose everything. And while all of this is happening, everyone's screaming, Stephen, why aren't you talking about the Epstein files? Look, anyone who hurts kids deserves the harshest punishment imaginable. I would do it myself. That matters, of course. It matters. But if this gets ignored, those same people get more power, more control, and total control. So while we're distracted by headlines and outrage, the foundation is being removed under our feet. And once real elections don't exist anymore, it doesn't even matter who you're mad at. Look, you and I, we're not enemies. We want the same thing, a safe, fair, prosperous America for our kids and our grandkids. And that's why Take America Back exists. That's why I founded it. To restore citizen-servant leadership where power actually lives, in the precincts, city councils, and school boards. We can only fix it from the bottom up. What you're seeing right now is a system that has been monetized against the people, insulated by debt, coercion, blackmail, and profit. And we're going to fight that at the grassroots level, nonpartisan and relentlessly until it's fixed. So go to jointab.us, support the mission, join the movement, help us take America back with presence, integrity, and courage. Because if we don't start fixing this right now, we may not get another chance.
Amen. How was that? Perfect timing. You brought up, but perfect timing because I was holding that videotape and I'm going to took that.
That was perfect.
What?
But that's a thing that no one's talking about right now. And I think that's probably, if you think about it, that's probably the biggest story, because if our elections are flawed, everything else is flawed underneath it, or everything, right? So
Well, was it Kemp's son's girlfriend that was killed in a car accident when they started poking around in Fulton County? Was it Kemp or Raffensperger?
Daughter's
One of the two.
Was it daughter's boyfriend? Somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody was.
It was
ran off the road and ran off the road and killed or something. And supposedly it was a car accident. That was a warning right there to get your nose out. Shit.
Anyway.
Yeah, Red Ginger said Kemp's daughter's boyfriend. That's what it was. So that's
that would explain like Fannie Willis, all her screaming and everything too. There's just so much.
What do you mean? You mean I was with that guy?
But it's real simple. They take out the daughter's boyfriend and then they say,
"Yeah,
gotta be ashamed if something happens."
Yeah, something like that happens to you.
Yeah, if something happened to your daughter like that, your beautiful daughter, be ashamed. I mean, that just talk about livelihood. No one wants.
Fanny had some Fanny boy. Let me tell you, gave it it's Fawny. She wanted to be called Fawny.
Fawny had some type of Fanny. Is that what you're saying, George?
I would have just. I
kept going like this. She wanted to be called Fawny.
Don't you wonder if they put her in that position because she was so stupid and they knew she was corrupt and that she'd keep her mouth shut on the cheat? I mean, there's all kind. You could go so many ways with that one.
Listen, the whole thing from the first videotape, that was the long one that I put the link in the chat. But what happened is the distraction is unbelievable. And it's so powerful, and people are just sucking it up. And there are people that are saying, "Yo, we had enough of this shit with this invest." Oh, what you want to do your wormhole there? Do your worm thing.
I just got something real quick. I just want to shoot in here. It's a
worm thing.
It's a 16-second video, and this is somebody that holds up a lot of stuff on our side. Ready?
Only serve 2 terms. Have pledged that if I'm elected, I will only serve 2 terms, regardless of whether term limits law, a constitutional amendment passes or not. 12 years is long enough to be in public service, make a contribution, and then come home and let someone else take your place.
Now, she pledged to do 2 terms.
Yeah.
She's been in for she's been in now for
8 now, right?
5 terms.
5.
She's the 7th most senior member of the Senate. 7th most senior member. So she's in the top 10 of senior members, and she's still going strong. Anyway, I bet that.
You want to do your wormhole there? Please do your wormhole. Who the hell wants to break here, please? Do the wormhole.
Yeah, well, we're kind of doing conspiracy all day today. These are all suppositions, so I'm going to throw this one in.
Whoa! Hey there! It's time for Wednesday Wormhole. Let's go! Buckle up, Squiggle Buds. Things are about to get wiggly. See ya on the flip squirm.
The current version of history that we've been told is not only incomplete, it's just wrong. It's just flat out wrong. Whether they were big civilizations in Illinois 10,000 years ago, which there were, by the way. How can we not know that? We sent a man to the moon, and you can't replicate the technology that created. You don't even have a good guess as to how they were built? We don't. We don't even know when they were built. But why would anyone care? For suggesting that our historical timelines were wrong, and there had in fact been advanced civilizations in earlier moments in time, and that they had been eliminated somehow through climactic events, through natural disasters, and that we're not aware of them in any detail. Kind of seems to be true. Well, why don't we know that? And what does it tell us about ourselves and about the past that we don't know? That's what I would think people would ask. And I know that what I learned as a kid is wrong. What do we know about ancient civilizations? And the answer is like basically nothing.
Did you read about Tartarian?
Okay, what those all were, if you believe in Tartaria at some point was allegedly a previous civilization when all these buildings were built. All those buildings, the significance of it was that that's global. It's from everywhere. They're in China, Japan. They're digging them out of holes in India. And if you notice, all of them have the spirals and the spikes and the copper and the globes and everything on the top. And
a few you showed is in Italy. A lot of them that you're showing were in Italy because I recognize the churches that you did it because I've been there plenty of times.
And it's like why they call them cathedral. If the energy comes, that supposedly they were bringing the ether, energy from the ether is what they called it. It's in different books. You can see it from 1500, 1600, 1700. There were buildings that were lit up when we didn't have electricity at that point that were actually photographed. Supposedly those spikes on top of all those buildings, that's what was bringing the energy in and bringing it into the building. Those buildings were really built as churches or synagogues or places of worship. They were actually power stations. And that's why you would have the spike at the top, and then you would have the big globe, and then you would have the main base underneath it. And that's what would store the energy. So when you went into a cathedral, it was just like cathode ray. That energy would get stored. You know how they had the flying buttresses and everything over the top? Supposedly the frequency went through vibration and it would go up through into that and hold on to the energy. And that's how they were able to power things.
And the lead glass. The lead glass.
And the lead glass is the same thing.
And that's why they destroyed Tesla. Because Tesla discovered, did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Then why didn't you bring that up? If you noticed in the first clip, they showed Tesla's picture. You forgot.
Yes. Well, Tesla, that's where the conspiracy is, because that was what Thomas Edison went against Tesla because they were able to make money on the differing currents and stuff.
And there was a big discussion between the AC and DC, not the group, but alternating current, which was cheaper because we had to do a lot of old factories changing from DC to AC because AC was better for the equipment and everything else.
AC
and then,
meaning what? The flow of
alternating current.
Alternating current. You want to do this? Or you want the electrician?
Go ahead, electrician.
DC was direct current. So if you looked at, like you look at like this when they do your thing of your heart, you got the up and down scans. Well, that would be AC current, alternating current, the spikes and everything. Like say if you got hit with DC current, it would hurt you more than if you got hit with AC current. That's how it was because it was a direct shot. Yeah, the DC was direct. It was just up on the top line. There was no flexibility of it. And what happens is everything lasted long and everything. But Tesla, what he did, came out with free energy power. And then they got after him because of the amount of investors. I don't want to say J.P. Morgan and
Rockefeller.
Rothschild, what?
And Rockefellers.
Yeah, the Rothschild. Well, I get Rothschild, but that the whole thing. They were going to make a lot of money because they can. People have to pay for the current with the lights and everything else. Then they found out that AC was better. So, but Tesla died broke. He was in an apartment, and the knowledge that he had, and that's where Musk comes in, and that's why he called his company Tesla. Because of the stuff that he found out about Tesla and all the energy programs that he tried to do. So,
but the thing with those buildings is that's how they figured out how the mud flood happened and why they were excavating buildings. At some point, the energy from those, because they ran on vibration and frequency from the ether, that at some point the whole grid system, supposedly these were all across the globe and they were all connected, just like the pyramids had a capstone on the top that's been missing from a few of them, and that directed energy. So what the supposition is that energy started vibrating. And have you ever heard of supplication? Is when the ground vibrates so hard it actually turns into like a mud. They're thinking that's what happened, is that this was an energy current that went across the entire globe. And at some point, the vibration got so high from the energy that it did that to the ground, and that's how all these buildings got buried and how the mud flood happened and everything. I'm going to do another wormhole like next week.
Somebody brought up that Denise brought up ACDC Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When you got hit with that juice, maybe it was highway. So a lot of guys had a lot of things happen to them. If a guy got hit with electric current, a lot of times, like the 277, the 110 that everybody knows that's in the house, but the 277, and we have to make the guys go to the hospital to have a cardiogram, because it actually, if it goes through your body like this, it hits your heart. So you have to send them,
No.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
I got hit with 600, but I just got from here to the elbow, so it wasn't that bad. My arm went numb, but that's how it got grounded out.
Wow.
With 10-point meter pans at 35,000 volts of power.
So if you go to India, that's why there's all these buildings that are buried. When they were doing Washington, D.C., they said a lot of these buildings weren't built. They were already there, but they were excavating them. I'm going to show next week a bunch of pictures that are buildings that some of them are familiar and some of them aren't. And you can see some, like in Russia, where there aren't even people on the streets or anything like that. But there's like horse and buggy where they're excavating things out. The same thing happened with San Francisco. They're saying a lot of that was there. St. Louis, Missouri is another big one that was supposedly a really far advanced civilization, and a lot of those buildings were partially buried under, and there's pictures excavating there too. And that's why they would hold the World's Fair. Every time they held the World's Fair during that time is when they finally excavated one city, and that's why they destroyed them afterwards, because it was showing you that there was free energy, because the World's Fair used the ether energy like that to light up all the buildings before there was regular electricity. But a lot of this is buried, and there's pictures too that go back to when pictures were first taken with airships in the sky all over the place, just like the Hindenburg, the blimp like that, and that ran just on the gas. And then those towers were where they would charge up. They actually had to get the charge to be
would float over the like the same thing that they use now to refuel the jets. You know, you had the blimp would go over those charging stations, and they would charge up those things.
Yeah, and people, they don't teach you this in any school, but if you start digging around on the internet, you will find all the old pictures, and it shows airships and everything in the sky. So they didn't make this stuff up. People at that point only did what they saw.
There's a few colleges. In fact, there's a few colleges that part of the building is in the ground, which the thing was. I can't remember. There were 3 universities that the colleges that half of it, well, part of the side of it is in the ground. You actually see the grass right in the middle. You showed the picture the last time with the grass by the window there. With
the buried windows, there's actually levels underground that they haven't excavated. Yeah,
I'm agreeing with you. You know, it's very rare, but I agree with you. I just want to tell you.
It's just crazy because there's no purpose in having half of a window coming out of the ground with the grass right up to that. You know?
I like this, Chris Esposito. You got it right. I'm in the land of fruits and nuts. That's right.
He's out in California right now. Yeah, he's out in California for work.
Oh my God!
So I'll be there for a couple of days.
Yeah, but that Tartaria stuff, if you want to look it up, it's really, really interesting, and there's so much more to it. But that's just one of the first things of it is about the free energy.
You had to put a 2 cents in as usual. News alert!
News alert! George is agreeing with Trixie. Yeah, about time, George. You've been very, very argumentative with Trixie. I don't know what the problem is here. You know. Hey, did you see? There's some breaking news. The FAA restriction in El Paso is now lifted.
Oh, because it got, you know why? It got enough It got enough publicity. That's why.
You know what I was thinking it was for? I was wondering if it had something to do with maybe a possible strike into Mexico to the drug cartels. And I didn't say that earlier when we were talking, but I was wondering maybe it had something to do with that. You know.
I think what they're doing was they were moving the troops, and they were putting a lot of the C-130s with the troops in there, moving them around. Supposedly they're supposed to put them in Arizona. We talked about this the other day, right? Arizona and Alabama. There's 300,000 troops going in there in case this bullshit that's going to happen. Which there's going to be a lot of when these Epstein files, all this distraction that's coming out. I think the old lady's gone. That's my opinion. I feel bad, but
that's you're talking.
I think she's gone, but they're going to keep all. The funny thing is, here's the $1,000 question: the FBI really got involved now. They brought the special task force to get involved now, which is about the ransoming and the whole thing and everything else. So the wallet was open. It was $300. So they say, oh, well, I just took it because I could grab any kind of wallet and stuff like that. But it could be somebody that is part of the ransom money and everything else like that. It's too suspicious of what's going on with the FBI and everything else to happen. The sheriff there, was a complete moron because of all the stuff he missed. Instead of what
I think that was done on purpose.
Yes, I was going to say that. And it's again. That's it. Okay. Listen, Sean, I'm going to say a word no more. That's it.
No, but
it's interrupts me all the time.
Wait a minute. Red Ginger had your other woman that's always on your case, George, is Red Ginger, but she had a good point there. She says, I still think there's a Harvey Levin Epstein connection. And even Lana said to me this morning, Lana said to me this morning, why is he so involved, this Harvey Levin, in this, right? So he gets named in the Epstein files, and all of a sudden, boom, and he's like the center focal guy on this whole thing of telling about the
well, he was in that video we put.
What?
That video we put up, he was in it.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, what's that's a whole.
And if you look at the expression on his face, is like he has a worried on his face. He's like worried about something. The expression he's got on his face, what do you call it? What's the thing? TMZ. He's got an expression on his face like I'm fucked.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's trying to,
Well, if you look very close at that video, it had a lot of people in it.
He's trying to distract for his life, maybe.
Yeah, well, supposedly they're gonna persecute everybody that's involved in this thing. The only thing that's not gonna happen is whatever happens in Europe. They got the court, the world court there that's it's gonna be a bunch of bullshit anyway. They're not gonna bring the kings here from England and everything else to prosecute. It ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. They think they're gonna bring him here. They got to worry about the amount of politicians that we have here.
There's enough people to prosecute here before we worry about anybody else.
They're going to prosecute here.
Zero so far.
No, but they want to. But what's going to happen is they're going to bring some of the discretion over to Europe. You understand? Because there are some people there, but the whole thing is
sure. It's a worldwide. It's a worldwide.
Right, but what they want to do is don't want to put it on here because now all the politicians here that are scrambling, they're going to concentrate on the other country. They're very good, and the majority. There's some Republicans involved, but there's a lot of Democrats, and they're going to freak out, and they're going to do another thing to distract. They are great for distracting things. They're unbelievable. Like this case, and I'm telling you, it has a lot to do with the husband because he worked for the Clintons, and the stuff that happened, and like you said, like the car accident for that Kemp's daughter there with the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, here's a message. And they're taking it right out of the mafia playbook. I mean, like the horse's head in the bed, but they don't do that one.
Red Ginger said, do people even realize that 50% of the country has no clue who Savannah Guthrie is? And she's right, because did you hear what the guy said that was detained? He had no idea who Savannah Guthrie's mother was.
Yeah.
He didn't even know about it. All this freaking media coverage, he didn't even know about it. I mean, that's what's that's even crazy with that.
Well, that's the most important thing about everything. It's just that the distractions that are happening throughout this, it's unbelievable. It's all about that. Newsmax doesn't do that much about it, But Fox, let me tell you something. And I'm going to tell you
Fox
who
and
else.
CNN are, I think it's funny. Fox and CNN, I think they watch each other's broadcasts and they try to outdo each other.
I'm going to tell you something very strange. You're going to see, you know who might be on the Epstein list? Paul Ryan, one of the Fox people.
That wouldn't be surprising.
I said the Murdoch boys, definitely, because the Murdoch boys hung around with the monarchy over in Europe.
Well, here's the thing, though, and think about this. There's so many people that are caught. I mean, Epstein was in so many circles, and that's why I always say, like, as soon as I hear somebody was involved with Epstein, I don't think they're child.
Oh, no, he could have got on a plane with them and stuff like that.
But there's so many. He was involved in so many things, money-wise, social light. He was involved in so much stuff that people had pictures with him, right? Doesn't mean that they're pedophiles or whatever, but you know, I think when you get deep down, deep down into the evidence, like what was the evidence that was taken out of the New York house? Remember, they took stuff, and then you hear about he had a big safe in there, and when they originally went in there to go in there, that the FBI, they didn't take anything out of the safe. They kind of like stayed away from it, and they were told to stay away from it. So it's just so much.
Now, don't forget that was the old FBI that went in there.
Yeah, well, yeah. But don't forget, as you say a lot of times, there's still some old dogs.
Oh yeah,
still involved, and not just the FBI and the CIA and everything.
Well, the whole thing is just say, argument's sake, he was involved, which he was involved with the CIA, Epstein, right? Mm-hmm. So they would tell the CIA would call Epstein and say, "Listen, we want you to take this guy on a plane and see if you could coerce him." So if a guy turns around and says, "Listen, I'm going to the," well, it was part of the Virgin Islands, right? What is the
Epstein's Island? Yeah, St. John.
His island, right? The island was like a little island on the side of the thing, but he bought it in 1993, I think, 94.
For the record, George, were you ever on Epstein Island?
Yeah, I was next to it. The thing is, the thing that everybody forgot, when they originally did his island, right? The scuba divers went to the bottom, and I brought this up before, and it just got squashed. That they found a lot of young bodies, bones, skeletons on the bottom of the island, and then it was just squashed. You said it?
No, I'm raising my hand. Can I speak now? I want to bolster your point there. There was a video, I think you can still find it online too, and it was somebody that had a drone and took it over to Epstein Island and got what you said, the scuba divers. Plus, they were able to get pictures of the FBI when the FBI was in there cleaning the place out, and you could see the mattresses were all covered in plastic, and it was like a lot of sparsely furnished rooms and everything too. And I think that's still floating out there, but I wanted to bring that up. And then the other thing I wanted to say too is, did you notice Richard Branson disappeared?
Yes, we bring that up all the time there.
Now, when you say disappeared,
you don't see him. Remember Virgin Airlines? He was on all the morning shows, teeing with everybody. He was on commercials for Virgin Air.
I can't remember the last time I saw Richard Branson.
That's right. He was owned an island right by Epstein Island.
Yeah.
Richard Branson, right? Wasn't he knighted?
There was a tunnel between Branson's Island and Epstein's Island. So the people would fly to his island, go into the tunnel, and go into this, so they won't be seen.
I don't know about that.
It's fact. They show the tunnel.
Ghislaine Maxwell had a license to drive a submarine and an airplane. She was the one that was trafficking them into like Branson's island, and then they can go in the tunnel and go over there.
That's it. There were 2 actions in the tunnel.
I didn't know about the tunnel.
Well,
that would be an easy thing to go to go and see, I would think, right? I mean, you could go to the island and find a tunnel, but
I called 1-800 the Goombas and get a lot of information.
The Goomba. Guido and Luigi went and checked it out for you, right?
Yeah.
Did you see? No. What happened is Epstein hired these 2 Italian guys because he used to do the pizza.
Vinny Boombots.
Yeah. And did you notice about the pizza in that other video that we had with Epstein going around with Nickelodeon and the pizza that was out? You know, the pizza thing. Do you know about the pizza thing? They showed about the pizza in that video.
No,
You
I
know,
didn't see
show what's the name? Podesta.
Oh, Podesta. Oh, okay, yeah.
And the Pizza Gate.
Oh, okay, yeah, the pizza shop.
And everybody said, "Oh, that's a lie. Oh, that's bullshit." Because if he asked for what is it for a young boy? He got a young boy with the pizza size he asked for, or something like that. They
Yeah,
had all these
the pizza and hot dogs.
Mm.
It was pizza and hot dog because that was Obama imported all those supposedly was it $61,000 worth of hot dogs real late at night to the White House for a party, but they had like Alice in Wonderland parties there and everything. But Pizzagate was real. That was James Oliphant was the one that owned, I'm pretty sure, Comet Pizza, and he was really super heavily involved in that. And the guy that came in and shot that place up was he was trying to destroy the server, and they said it was all bullshit, and it was not. It was not.
I don't think that guy, when they say that guy shot, but go back to that guy who shot up the place, right, or whatever. It's not like he just. I don't think he just randomly went and shot everything.
No, he was on a mission.
Oh, what did he really? Oh, I don't know that. He was looking to kill people then.
No, I think he was going to shoot the server that was in Comet Pizza with the security cameras and stuff on it, because supposedly in the basement of Comet Pizza was where they did a lot of different things. And it's just like the band Imagine Dragons. They were always playing at Comet Pizza, and that they were like basically an Illuminati band and were given that position. Like how they say in the music industry, how you have to sell your soul to the devil and stuff. And that's why like Chester Bennington is... If you put a picture of Chester Bennington and John Podesta together, you could tell they're father and son. And Chester Bennington and the guy
Bennington
from Lincoln Park, the band Lincoln Park. Mm-hmm. Him and there was a couple of them that were investigating and putting together with Liz Conklin the whole thing about Pizzagate and child trafficking and everything. And these guys all came up missing. That's where the red tie around the neck comes from, with the committed suicide stuff and everything. You know, so it's so twisted. It's just so twisted. But Comet Pizza was a real thing.
Here's the problem, and it's all in a nutshell. It's all about the money, and they knew, like China, pharmaceutical companies, everybody that's involved, the cabal. They knew how to get to the politicians because of money. And what do you call it? I told you I was offered money playing. It's very simple. Say, yeah, I'm a debt, but you know, you get offered money. Well, should I take it? And I get myself out of debt and so. No, you don't do it. And that's what they did. And like I said,
the point about selling your soul, right, and selling your morals.
Yeah. Does it? Yeah. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Money you have, if you sell your morals or you sell your soul.
Well, that's why Trump pisses off everybody, because it can't be bought. That's the problem. He's making, and you know what's funny? They're complaining about the billions that he's making because he's making money. That's who he is. He's a businessman. His kids are running the buildings and everything. He's making money. Absolutely. But because he doesn't have to be bought. These other assholes, you know, what do you call Raskin there? He's the biggest democratic socialist, and that's the big thing they're pushing now. The signs that they put up is democratic. So I'm so pissed off. I missed that clip. The democratic. So every sign that they put up, this woman was going to talk in front of Congress about everything to find out about where this money's coming from, and the money's coming from the democratic socialists. Who's funding them? It's not only George Soros. It's a whole bunch of people. A lot of people have a lot of money that are doing it, but everybody's focusing on George Soros. Mm-hmm. And that's what the eye on the ball of people on, because every chat you go into and everything, oh, it's Soros. No, it's that guy singing China and everything else. He plans everything about with the schooling and everything else, the amount of money they give to schools. And what the problem is, foreign kids get into colleges faster, medical school and everything else, than the kids that are born here.
Oh yeah,
right. And that's the reason why. Because they give the colleges. China gives them $60 billion that we help because we buy their fucking shit, and that's what happens. And that's what the problem is. You go around in circles. That's it all the time.
Did you see the jobs report that came out today? I queued something up here if you want to play it, Tricks.
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
Jobs report came out. it blew it away what they thought. So all this distraction keeps things away from what's really happening, right?
Now from Cheryl, 130,000 jobs created for the month of January. The estimate was 70,000. Wow, I was right, Maria. 4.3% is the unemployment rate. The street was looking for 4.4%. This is not the kind of report we expected to see, guys. Let me give you the government jobs picture. That is negative 42,000 on the government side part of the equation. We saw that in the reports previously. We also saw labor force participation rate 62.5%, average hourly earnings 0.41%. That is actually higher than the expectation.
So they thought the freaking jobs report was going to be 70,000 jobs, right? Came out 130,000 plus jobs.
Private sectors.
And they took away 34,000 or 40,000 government jobs, whatever it was. Okay, just think if they didn't take away the government jobs, right? How it would be, because that's a net.
That's what happened. But that's what happened with Virginia, because Virginia voted for that skank that won the Democrat there. That's now hit everybody, because now you got to take care of all the people that are unemployed now. Yeah. Where does that money come from? That doesn't come from the government. It comes from the state. And she's got to raise the money. And now the people will be laying back and everything else, and the whole welfare program will all be taken up and everything else like that. Yeah. So that's what happened. Yeah. No,
okay, can I get the snow thing in real quick here for Wormhole Wednesday?
Before it melts.
I did.
This is what's been found in the snow. This was done in January. There was aluminum, barium, strontium, lead, mercury, sulfur compounds, nitrates, and the pH. Every level of that was high. So it says there's inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry. So that's what they use to test it. But the mercury in there is what's going to make you sick. But there was also red blood cells and stuff in there too. So I wanted to bring that up just because yesterday there was what?
The barium. If you eat that stuff, you have to go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
barium is what they use in medical testing and everything too, though. So
they give you the stuff. They give you the stuff to drink. I'm just saying that.
It makes you light up. But
that's it.
Tricks. You know when they had the videos like people lighting the snow would turn. What out of those chemicals would make that go dark if you put fire on?
My guess would be the lead would be on there.
I was going to say the lead and the mercury.
Yeah. The mercury would see. This is why there was how would I want to say this? Yesterday there was 4 states that were told not to go outside and stay indoors because the pollution was so high and everything. I smelt the plastic Sunday. There was a huge boom Sunday night that was reported all around Chicago and south of Chicago. T-Augie knows about it and everything. That shit's in the snow. But about that boom and about the air quality and everything, I'm going to tell you what I think it is, since it's Wednesday. Boom. Is because the New Madrid fault had you're messing me up. New Madrid fault had a couple of earthquakes within the last 2 weeks, and they were on a line that went up. If those rocks crack, you'll get a huge boom like that. You'll feel it underneath your feet. All those gases will go up in the air. So that's what I think the toxic.
Oh, it was 2 earthquakes in Italy.
Or it could have been Swalwell.
Yeah, because he's always got gas. But I wanted to tell everybody what was in that snow. So when you see them spraying and stuff like that, I wouldn't go outside very much if you can help it. Stay inside your car and everything. But that snow, there's shit that they're finding underneath the snow that looks like spider webs. But that was an actual laboratory test of what was in the snow. So it is polluted. So
Listen, what do you call it? Man K came out with about how California is all, with the China stuff, but we could talk about it tomorrow. How the infiltration. I can't remember that guy's name. What's his name? Singh.
Neil Singman. Neil Singman.
Yeah, he's a dothead.
Neville.
Isn't he a dothead? Isn't he from India? He lives in
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he pushed on. Every time I see one of them, I think of 7-Eleven coffee. It gets me crazy.
I think of it. You know what I think of? I think of a. Would you like to buy a Slurpee? You'll get the hot dog with the Slurpee.
Listen,
Joe Biden both.
I don't listen. You can ask Alan the story. I was in Surges, and there were two guys from Pakistani that were running all the sales about the shirts and everything else. And the guy goes, "Oh, you the shirt because we had this on." I said, "Yeah, I know Trump." I showed him the picture. "Oh, you know Trump?" Oh, no. He said, "Oh, I'd like to go to one of your meetings. I live in Florida." I said, "Where in Florida?" "Orlando." I said, "Really?" So I'll tell you. But I said, "I'm telling you right now, no backpacks. You're not allowed to have backpacks." Alan, I thought Alan would go to shit his pants when I told him. And the other guy, he said, "Oh, my brother could come too." I said, "Where's your brother from?" "Canada." "Oh, we don't take Canada people. We don't like Canadians."
That's funny.
Yeah, no backpacks. "Oh, no. We don't bring no backpack." I said, "No, you can't walk in that place with a backpack there right now."
That's funny.
So, every time I walk by them, I say in the airport, I'll say, "Anybody check the backpacks?"
Yeah, Tampa General. You see him running. Around.
Get out of my fucking way! I told him.
I don't know.
Both.
Yeah. So that I hope everybody enjoyed Wormhole Wednesday. I think it was fun today. We got into a little conspiracy, so it's kind of light from all this Nancy Guthrie shit and everything else.
I wanted to play that beautiful video. We don't have time. Would have light made everybody happy.
Chris Eppolito says George better hope he doesn't need any tech support. Not for you, my friend.
You want to hear a story about that? I had a Dell computer. I had so much problems. This was a couple of years ago. And the guy, I told the guy, I said, "I want another computer." He goes, "No, we can't do that. We can help you fix your I said, "I'll tell you what. I'll get on a plane and find you in fucking India. And I'm going to grab you by your throat." Guess what? I got a new PC next week, the week after. I said extra other words.
And did you have computer problems with it too?
Nope.
They said, if I was him, I would have said, "I'll send you a computer."
No, that happened to me one time when the guy called. These guys that call up about the cars and stuff, and the guy, and I told him, I said to him, "F you, stop calling me up." He calls me back. He says, "F you too." Alan was in the car.
That's funny.
That's funny. All right, let me tell you. The best one when that guy calls up, "We want to warranty your car." I said, "Yeah, I got a 1937 Studebaker." "Oh, let me talk to my manager."
That's funny. Eppolito just said, and they're still watching everything you do, George, on the guy that sent you the computer.
I know that.
That's when, so remember, nothing's ever for free.
That's right.
It always has a cost. All right.
Oh, that's true.
Well, I want to thank. We know
hit
who
the like
call
button, everybody.
Yeah. All right.
MK Hart's funny. We know who to call now, George.
Yeah. Well, we're 5 after, so we got to get going here. So if you guys want,
Mike, thanks for joining the show. Don't forget the thumbs up. With all the people in the chat, we should have like 100 thumbs up. We only get 50. Boy, I think you guys are racist. I think you forget to do the thumbs up.
If you guys do the thumbs up, I'll pick on George tomorrow. I'll pick on George tomorrow if you give me thumbs.
If we get 60,
the only one that scares me is Red Ginger.
If we get 65 thumbs up, we're dedicate a full show to picking on George.
Yeah,
we'll put him in the dunk tank and everything.
Listen, we got to play that video tomorrow. It's a beautiful video. But the eagle knocks on this guy's door because he's got trouble with the eggs. It's unbelievable.
Okay. All righty. Well, I guess we're going to go for the day. And we'll be back tomorrow. Please hit the thumbs up. That would be nice. Let's see. What are we going to play today?
Hey, play this one.
No, I'm going to play this one because I didn't get any.
It might street can play right now.
Getting ready.